growing up,
Whoops.
there were 2 times I broke my collarbone snowboarding, came home. My mom's like, you didn't break your collarbone, just go to sleep. If it still hurts in the morning, we'll go to the hospital. Woke up, broken collarbone. Next time I came home from
heal
school,
overnight.
no, I came home from school one day and like my chest was killing me, and I'm like, there's something wrong. I think I broke a rib or something. You didn't break a rib, go to sleep. Went to sleep, woke up the next day, still hurt, collapsed lung.
No lessons learned.
Welcome to our Film Fathers podcast, the definitive podcast about fatherhood, film, and fatherhood and film. This is Jelani, and with me as always are a demonologist and a lying cockknocker, Martin and Brady.
Everything you see in here is either haunted, cursed, or has been used in some kind of ritualistic practice.
So I'm putting out a bolo on Sloth from the Goonies.
This week, on Reading Suggestions, we're diving deep into 2 films that showcase James Wan's mastery of the horror genre. The Conjuring is a modern-day classic reviving the haunted house subgenre with its chilling atmosphere, well-timed scares, and grounded story rooted in the real-life cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren. On the other hand, we've got Malignant, a film that took audiences by surprise at the time with bold, unpredictable twists and a fresh, almost campy approach to horror. What do you prefer, the slow-burn haunted house horror that gets under your skin, or the chaotic, mind-bending terror that leaves you speechless?
I can't wait to hear what you guys think of.
Well, I want to know the answer to the question. Especially, let's start with
Which
Reading.
one do you prefer?
First of all, welcome back, Reading.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome
you.
back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Your October residency.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Do you have? And this, I really think you and Jill and Martin should go first because do you guys have a preference, or is it just any and all? Because which is where I would probably guess.
So in terms of these 2, like this is any and all. Like I'll take any movie, like either of these. And we talked about this a little before. The more modern horror, like Hereditary and Midsommar, and some of these other ones that are kind of The Witch. I'm not a big fan of those. I don't like this highbrow.
See, I like those. I like the artsy
no,
ones.
I just want to see
I love The Witch.
Dude come back from the dead, like half his head missing, and just killing people. That's that's what I want to see.
Slaughter and gore.
Yes. Yeah. Except there isn't a lot of gore, especially in The Conjuring. There's none.
Sure.
Oh, there isn't any,
No.
huh? Yeah,
they thought it was going to get a PG rating. I read this in the trivia. They thought it was going to get a PG rating or a PG-13. And the MPAA came back and said, it doesn't have any nudity, it doesn't have any swearing, it doesn't have any blood for the most part. They're like, it's just too plain, it's too scary.
Yeah, definitely
like,
a lot of jump scares.
They're like, there are no cuts you can make to make this a PG-13.
And mom's coming after her daughter.
Yeah, so they just left it as an R.
Okay. Well, Martin.
Yeah.
What about
me? I have seen. I liked Malignant. I saw it when it came out, and I thought it was an interesting movie. It was kind of just fun. Conjuring, I must have seen it, but I really don't remember. And I haven't seen the whole Conjuring universe. I think I sent you guys the whole. There's Annabelle movies. There's The Nun.
I looked it up.
They're all connected. I was going to try to watch.
There's like a
few
dozen
more
or
of them,
close to it.
but I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen any other one other than this one. So yeah, the rewatch. Yeah, I could see why it was popular. I could see why they would make a lot of sequels to it because it could be a formula. You just keep doing it and you keep having different scares. And I looked up most of the like the Rotten Tomato scores, and they're all they kind of jump around. They hover around that 50 mark. Some are below, some are a little bit above, but none of them are like, oh, The Nun 2 was like the best movie or anything like that.
I still haven't watched The Nun 2.
there you go.
No.
So yeah, I was. But they're good times. So yeah, I was definitely interested in what you guys more Malignant. I want to hear what you guys think of Malignant.
Well, I saw Brady on Sunday, and I was like, "Oh, I'm biting my tongue. I can't ask you about Malignant yet."
And I don't know if we want to start there, but whatever you guys want to do.
Jelani, what were your? Do you? I guess to the initial question, do you have a preference of horror movie? And I guess when it comes in, your thoughts on both of these two.
Yeah, so I think in my eyes, I prefer the the jump scares without the gore. Because I'm not a huge gore fan, so it's like, okay, if it happens, it happens, but I'm not seeking it out.
Yeah.
It was interesting because of the way that the Conjuring set, and like it's set in the past, and it's a little older, so it moves a little slower. I was very surprised by Malignant. Like going into it, I'm like, okay, where are we going? And then as you keep watching, you're like, what the? Like, okay, now we're here, and then you're like, the scene in the police station. You're just like, we can talk about that.
Oh yeah,
There's no way. How do you?
Oh my
God!
God.
Not get her?
Yeah. So, honestly, I mean, I liked them both. Really, I think I liked Malignant a little bit more than The Conjuring. So it'd probably be like, on the tops of out of the 4 movies we've watched this month so far, they're in the top 3.
Oh, okay. So
Counterpoint.
I thought The Conjuring. So I heard of The Conjuring. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because as someone who's not like seeing all these when they come out, but I remember kind of like the phenomenon of The Conjuring.
Yeah.
It felt like it. And maybe this happens every so often with like horror movies. Like every so often, like one hits and it's like it becomes the horror movie that. And I don't think it's an annual thing, but I think this was a good movie and happened to be a horror movie. It happened to be about loosely on some real life, there are connections in all of this. And I remember that becoming a thing, probably why it led to however many movies are in the prequel and sequel universe.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. I mean, I wouldn't watch it a lot just because I don't care necessarily to, but I mean, there was like legitimate tense scenes and which I probably like more than the horror part.
Yeah.
Thinking about that question, like I remember some of the like Saw movies and Hostel and some of those that are like where you get your like
torture.
Yeah, the torture stuff.
The
like
torture horror, it
Yeah.
definitely got old.
like I've never forgotten like the dude getting his like Achilles sliced.
Oh my God.
And I'm like just
In any
Yep.
movie when that happens, it's
Yeah.
the worst.
but like was it
Pet Sematary is the first one where he did it.
Yeah.
and I
just
was
like
oof.
those like that stuff
Yeah.
to me is not necessarily worth my time, and probably why I generally have a negative connotation with horror movies in general, because it's just like it just doesn't do anything. It's not enjoyable for me to watch.
gore on its own. It needs to be like
Yeah.
Used sparingly. But that's the thing. Like you mentioned Hostel, and I think like that whole run ended to me with Human Centipede, which I've never even
Oh.
seen. I'm just like, that's just
All right, next
way
week.
more torture
Absolutely not.
than I ever really want to get to.
I thought we would go our entire time on this podcast without ever mentioning Human Centipede, but
I think I feel like we haven't mentioned it before.
I
don't
think
know.
maybe in the John Q episode.
You-
Malignant, on the other hand,
Yeah.
so bad.
I wanted someone to say so bad.
It's so bad. Like it's
so
just
fun.
I wish it was fun. The
Oh, you didn't have any
campiness to
fun.
me was not fun. It was predictable.
Expand on that.
Yeah. What
Which
part
part-
was
when
predictable?
part? When did you know?
Pretty early.
That's
Okay.
good because I feel like you could. Because as I was watching it the second time, I'm like, how did I not call
Yes.
this?
The
I mean,
second
okay.
time, there are so many hints dropped
To be-
throughout
so
the whole
many
thing.
To be clear, I don't want to pretend that like I had the whole thing drawn out, but I was like, it's in the back of her head. Like there was blood
Yeah.
continuously. Like for me, it felt obvious, but
Okay.
like obviously, I didn't know that there was like the whole storyline connected to it and
Yeah.
it getting cut out. But like to me, it was very clear. Like the problem, whatever was happening, was in the back of her head, and like the hair
Yeah, I
was
just thought it
over
like
the
a
front.
psychic
Yeah.
connection. I
The
think,
black hair was
first
over the
time.
front. I was like, yeah, it's the back of her head.
And
like,
that's the part that I'm like, how did I miss that? Yes, it was the
Yeah.
back of her
And
head.
the
So
way-
walking
the way it's
backwards.
and it was walking backwards.
Yeah.
Like it's for me. I don't know. It felt
Yeah, I should have
glaringly
known.
obvious.
I was mad that I didn't.
And I had zero clue about this movie existing before
Yeah.
I watched it,
Yeah.
so no hints. It was very obvious to me, and so I just felt like it was stupid because it was.
I mean, it definitely is
Yeah.
stupid
Oh,
to
yeah,
some degree,
no.
but it was fun. It was just fun. I just remember watching it the first time being intrigued by
I
it a little
don't
bit.
know how many times I would have to watch this to be like, I think this is fun and enjoyable.
I definitely laughed the second.
I can
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you,
The
I will
second time.
never get to that number.
Yeah,
There's some
I got
bad
you.
CGI
Because I won't watch it
scenes.
again.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those things where, for me, it kind of took me out of it because I was spent so much time trying to figure out like how Gabriel was related to Madison.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And then you start reading, like, you know, they go through the stuff when she sees, like, the twin absorbed. I'm like, oh, maybe it's a split personality type deal, and that's what it is. And then, you know, then they give it away, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, that's why there's all the blood.
But it was a big reveal, and you almost have to laugh when you see the little heart.
Oh, yeah.
The rib cage. Like, I
didn't
kind of
predict,
forgot about
obviously.
that. Yeah, right. Yeah. I got you. See, what I think was more predictable, it was The Conjuring. Like, when they were like, oh, yeah, the mom killed the child. And I'm like, everyone, we all know what's going to happen. We all know that the mom is just going Lily Taylor is going to go after the child. And they're all like far away when it happens and like can't get to him. I'm like, come on, that seemed a little ridiculous to me. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so obviously both movies are directed by James Wan.
Yeah.
Now, should that name outside of these movies
Saw.
mean anything? Oh, okay.
So him and
I mean,
Lee
he's like
Whannell,
the horror king.
Yeah, he is like the latest, like Wes
8 to 9 of
Craven and those guys.
Yeah.
John Carpenter in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I guess, with Craven. But yeah, James Wan does a lot of these horror movies.
He also didn't he do the
Insidious.
Aquaman?
He did, I think. Yes.
Yeah,
and he did a
Fast 7.
Fast
and
7.
Furious 7. Yeah.
Or is it Furious 7?
Furious 7.
Furious 7.
Yeah.
Fast 7. I don't know.
He's like, let's focus on the Fury. That's my.
Let's make it a horror movie.
Yeah, they should have. That would have been good.
But,
Don't give him any ideas.
Well, that was the movie they were filming when Paul Walker passed away. So it's like, we could take this in a dark way if we wanted to.
That would have been
But
something.
yeah, I've been a fan of James Wan since the first Saw. He's got this second movie was like Dead Silence, which with these puppets and stuff. That, but just the way that he shoots the movies, and you saw it in *Malignant* too. Like the really slow kind of camera angles. There's a lot of spinning, and like you see stuff happening, and then like it comes back, and oh, there's a ghost, and then like it goes away, and like. But the one shot in *Malignant* that was super cool is when the camera just went all the way up,
The dollhouse view?
and it was like the house when she's running through it.
Yes.
Like and that was in.
Yeah, what movie? We just saw it in a recent film.
It was an action movie, though, right?
Yes.
He's like just going through with a shotgun. It wasn't John Wick 3, was it?
4
Maybe.
or 5.
But that's a Hitchcock.
Or 4. John Wick 4. It was John Wick
4. 5, right?
Right. Not
Because
yet.
he had the dragon breath shotguns,
Yes.
and it was blowing the flames out when he shot
Correct.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
all.
And that was cool.
That's pulled back
Yeah.
from Psycho. You know, they do that with the house when he's carrying her out of the bed. So all of it is a nod to Hitchcock.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was going to ask, because when you're watching The Conjuring, you see at the end they do the little spiral in the... Is that just a Wan thing, or is that like a horror genre, like spirals and things like that? Because, you know, you see the spiral on the... What I thought was going to happen...
Like the Saw
I think it's a
thing.
wand thing. Yeah, I don't think it's...
Okay. Because what I thought was
far
going
as
to
I
happen
know.
was the music box was going to stop, it was going to close, then you were going to see the case, and Annabelle was going to be gone.
Yes, agreed.
That's what I thought the ending was going to be.
100%. For
But-
me, that was the logical ending.
And I didn't remember the Annabelle scene right in the beginning. I was like, oh, we really dive right into the Annabelle character, but I don't remember that all, and I haven't seen that movie.
For this movie, knowing that like it became a
spin-off.
a focal point too, right?
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
it isn't that much. It's in this movie. Like,
Right.
it's more like I don't even know if it's a B-lot story. It's like
Right.
it's,
No, it's just to set up the Warrens. And
Right.
at the very beginning.
so either the picture was there, the vision was there that this is going to work and we can turn this into a lot and work off this, or because in reality, if you were making this movie by itself with no expectation that there was going to be any other movies, it's kind of weird that would be involved at all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to show the other cases and stuff that the Warrens worked on to kind of show that they were these figures in the field that knew, all about this
These
and were working on,
demonologists,
working on a lot of cases, then you would want to show one case before they went to work on this case.
I was watching it with and Colin was in the room for a little bit. I'm like, yeah, this is based on a real true story. He's like, really? He totally believes in ghosts at this point. He loves watching ghost hunter shows, and I'm like, it's not real, buddy.
Yeah, it's about as real as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies being based on true
Right.
events.
Yeah.
I love Vera Farmiga.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up in the air for sure.
Yeah,
Like
I was gonna say.
I was like, oh damn, like she was in. This is the thing, and maybe this is a bigger conversation, and maybe women would be like, yeah, this is why it's ridiculously hard. Like she felt like she should have been a superstar after that movie
Departed.
and Departed. Like that's it. And then she was having to do horror movies, which probably did fine doing.
Probably
but
made
like,
a lot of money.
usually
doing
those are
it,
lower
yeah.
budget, so it's like
Yeah.
She
not
was
getting-
sure
in
she
The
did all right in
Commuter
The
with
Conjuring,
Liam
too.
Neeson.
the commuter, sure.
But you're right. She's got good acting chops to be wasted away in horror. Is what you're saying.
It
right?
feels like when I see someone in a horror movie, I'm like, oh, they're like forced to
they're
do
usually
horror
like Annabelle Wallace or whatever.
Oh,
like
yeah.
just not a good actress.
now. Right.
Oh, and
You're
Also-
my sister. I want a blood attachment.
Also, I only know
It made me
her
laugh.
as blonde because I saw her in Tag. She's the reporter.
Yeah.
And so seeing her as black hair, it was like, no. This
And do you
isn't
think?
working?
Do you
And
think
I'm not. It's
Annabelle's
not even
named after her?
It's not a blonde black hair thing. It's just legit,
maybe.
like
Just a coincidence.
reversion.
She did spend 4 years or 5 years, 5 seasons on Bates Motel. So
I take it we're not talking about Annabelle Wallace right now.
no,
You're talking about
Vera
Vera
Farmiga.
Oh.
But that's
But not like a huge.
I heard that show was good though too.
Yeah.
But that
8.1.
that's
Speaking of
you're
Psycho.
talking about rating.
No, yeah, I'm talking about rating, but I'm talking about maybe
All right.
that's why she isn't
Where's
everywhere.
that? Where is that show?
Yeah, that was the problem. It wasn't
It
available.
was
Where is it?
A&E.
Okay, so like it just
I've heard good things, but I think it
Yeah.
was relegated to.
she's not like
Nobody
running a
watched it.
lead on a show that is like actually getting a lot of like publicity and
Yeah,
maybe I'm
I
wrong.
gotcha.
Maybe there's something there, but
I'll tell you, someone that took me out of this movie, out of The Conjuring, was having Ron Livingston in it. I just
Oh,
can't.
yeah, he
I
got out
can't
of the
take
car, I
him
was
too
like,
seriously.
I did not remember you being in
Yeah.
this. I'm like,
And
I hope it's not a
this is
Monday.
what I'm
Honestly,
saying.
Lily Taylor too. Like it's just the wrong person.
I was
Because I,
gonna
know
say you
that.
love Lily
Yeah.
Taylor, right?
I just like her.
I
She's
feel
in a
like-
lot of indie movies
I mean,
that I like.
that's fine if we
you know.
distinguish between love and like.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
He likes her.
You were-
I like a lot of movies that she's in.
Yeah, I feel like I know Lily Taylor, and I can't remember what movie
She
it
doesn't
was
say anything.
that you were like, oh yeah, I like Lily Taylor.
No, I don't. I have like a crush on her. If that's.
I
what
didn't
you're
mean
saying.
that.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know why you're taking a turn here.
Oh, sorry.
She was in one of the like early horror movies, or I guess scary movies, The Haunting, or A Haunting. Is that what it is from '99?
Haunting.
I don't even know that
Yeah,
one.
I think it's The Haunting. Or,
The Haunting?
Yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
in High Fidelity.
High Fidelity, yep.
But I just remember because she's the last. She's the final girl in that, and
Okay.
like the big like reveal was they were hunting down like
She's in
everybody in the
6 Feet Under.
family, and she's like, "I was adopted," and then the ghost is like, "Oh, okay," and then
Lily
leaves
Taylor's in a movie. One of her first movies is she's having a baby.
with Elizabeth McGovern.
We were talking about that.
That's
off,
unbelievable.
Off mic.
I mean, that's
Off
unbelievable.
air.
That's amazing.
Mystic Pizza, Say Anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
So she's in some Cusack
what's
movies,
funny about that is she's in a decent
which
amount of stuff,
Jelani loves.
and her known for she only has 3
That's funny.
Huh.
for being in that many.
And what are they known for?
They couldn't have just picked
The Conjuring.
one more.
Okay.
American Crime, a TV series, and I Shot Andy Warhol.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that movie too.
Okay.
She plays,
Valerie Jean
Val-
Solanas.
yeah, very strong. Who actually did shoot
I don't know
Andy
what you
Warhol.
just said, but anyway,
She was the founder of Scum, Society for Cutting Up Men.
I believe it. Yeah. Ron Livingston is an example of what I'm talking about. Like when I see him in this, I'm like, yeah, he's fallen into like now he has to make like bad, like
Sure.
lower budget horror movies.
But I would have been better if they had gotten a no name. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah,
and I agree
for
with you.
sure.
I'm just saying when I see an actor that I know or
Yeah.
actress and they're in a horror movie, I'm like, oh, they can't really get bigger roles now, so they're like making horror movies, which are and I'm only saying that because typically those are lower budget. That's how they make it, right? They make lower budget movies,
Yeah.
and then try to make a lot of money, which they can crush on.
Yeah. These aren't Blumhouse, right?
No, I don't think so because I think
Is it pre Blumhouse?
James Wan has his own production company so
because of
it's
Saw.
Atomic
This is
Monster because of Saw.
the
Yeah,
success of Saw.
yeah.
But that's where, when you say low budget, a lot of times those are Blumhouse.
And I don't mean
horror movies.
low. I just mean like the budget on horror movies. Typically, when they do really well,
Not
it's
in the
like, oh, they
hundreds of
only made it
millions.
for
Yeah.
this many million,
Yeah.
$10 million, and
Yeah.
then because they don't pay a ton. Well, typically that would imply that.
Right.
Yeah,
The
right.
budget on this estimated to be 20 million.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
And
I doubt
it grossed
it all went to
320.
Vera Farmiga and Ron
Right.
Livingston.
Well, you never know. Maybe they're just taking points on the back end.
We didn't talk about Patrick Wilson.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the lead. I mean, he's the first build
Oh yeah.
on the movie.
Do we like him?
He has a unique quality. I think it's just
He's got a punchable face.
He's no Tom. He's
that
no
where you're
Tom
going?
Jane, but
yeah.
he's better than Tom Jane.
Is he the? No, I feel like him and Josh Lucas are like,
Yes.
second brothers.
I
or
can see
second
where you're
cousins.
going with that. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like they live in the same. Like they probably have competed for the same roles.
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
And I'm guessing they crossed over at one point or another.
Yeah, probably
Sweet Home
did
Alabama.
Yes.
Was that
that's
those
Josh
two?
Lucas.
And him?
No.
Oh.
That's Patrick Dempsey, I think.
Oh, okay.
Um,
And Reese Witherspoon.
and Reese Witherspoon.
Reese
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, so Patrick Wilson, I think like he can be disliked, like you said, he's got a punchable face, but then he's also got like he's got some movies where he's like the underdog. Like there's one where he gets like his
I'm okay with him. He's in.
junk cut off and he can't.
I don't know about that one.
That
he
was
like
Mel
gets
Gibson.
I will say one
It's
of the
weird.
Wow,
That's
one-
Braveheart.
I can't believe that's one of his first things he did. But one of the first things he did was Angels in America, which is a really, really good miniseries. It was on HBO,
I thought you were going to say Angels in the Outfield.
and he.
I,
And
was
I
gonna
didn't.
say Air America.
I think. I
That's
think,
also
Thinking
Mel
of Mel
Gibson.
Gibson.
I think I remember him being in that, and he is good in it. And then he just found that middle
groove.
ground.
He was in Watchmen.
Watchmen.
Yeah.
Which I love. Watchmen.
Yeah.
We should do that.
He's
at
also
some
in the
point,
A
but-
team.
Yeah. He is also in Insidious.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll
He
see him
became
again
friends with
real
James.
soon.
Oh, Insidious was actually before The Conjuring.
Oh, was?
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, Conjuring was 13.
I laughed when he came in and he started setting up the religious icons. He like rolled them out. He's like, this really pisses them off. And I'm like, I thought that was just tinkling the piano keys.
From Ghostbusters. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a good amount of movies. The Commuter you mentioned earlier.
It's coming back.
But this is so. A couple of things. The title. There really wasn't a Conjuring, right?
Well, I don't think
Isn't
they
that
could.
just like no.
It's more like they were
evil
trying
was
to
just
an
there.
exorcism.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
But
no
they can't
act
call
of
it an
Conjuring.
exorcism.
Yeah, I was
already
gonna
a
say
movie
that
called
that's
that.
already called
It's already a
copyright.
And that's why they have like the exorcism of Emily Rose
Yeah.
or whatever. But,
Yeah.
but like I just feel like it's definitely not a great title, other than the fact that it is a good title for horror movies.
Right. It
But
just
it's
isn't applicable.
It's not applicable here. And then haunted house movies in general. What are some of the best ones? Is this the best one? Is this your favorite? Because it's modern.
In
And
recent memory, this is probably one of the best
probably the
ones.
biggest one. They remade Amityville Horror.
Yeah,
that's
with
a bad
Ryan
one from the
Reynolds.
70s. And
Yeah.
the remake, I don't remember being much better.
It was fine. It had the modern jump scares and
Yeah.
stuff that they all have, and Ryan Reynolds.
It's based on a real life happening as well.
It is, but then I'm pretty sure the people that lived in the house and claimed it was all really happening,
Yeah,
like
were found
the
out to be
husband
frauds.
or whatever, they turned out they were just frauds, and he was
just
trying
full
to
of shit.
write a book or something. So
On that note, Jelani,
Yeah.
your jump scare levels.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have
So-
a couple? I had a potential some registered.
We got to jump scare 2.
Okay, I had a
Which-
jump scare too. Listed.
We had jump scare 2 a couple times.
What do you have them? Did you notate them?
This one I didn't notate. I do remember a few of them.
Sometimes I wish I took way better notes than my shorthand. I have jump scare 2 on the music biz for mom.
on the music biz for mom,
So if you know what I'm talking about,
I have Look What You Made Me Do.
Music box.
The
maybe,
maid
for Mom.
scene was a good jump scare.
Yes.
Music
would have been on
box.
my phone.
It was the music
yeah,
box
the music
thing.
box. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they would have brought it in my phone. It probably
Yeah.
type or it autocorrected.
Music
Oh,
biz.
or
See,
when,
look at me. I speak Brady.
By the way, box went to biz with a Z. But anyway,
When she's, I think she's under the house. Where are my notes here?
When she falls through the ceiling or falls
No,
through
the she's in the basement. Yeah, after she falls through the floor,
Yeah.
and then the legs just come down.
Oh yeah.
That got me pretty good.
Yeah.
This is in Conjuring.
Yes, this is Conjuring.
No, I thought the best one was with the girl just in bed, and they're like, "Don't open the door," and then the door just slams shut. I mean, it was just they build up the tension. They had the music.
Juan is good with the tension, like just the
really, yeah.
You think something's gonna happen? Oh, nothing happens.
Yeah. And then you wait 2 seconds, and just when you can't bear it, that's when it happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had goosebumps on the pictures falling off the wall.
Okay.
I felt like that, and it was the same situation. Like it was a culmination of the scene building up to that point, and all of a sudden it's like they're coming down.
Oh yeah.
You too?
Yeah. The crash with the photos falling off the wall scared me. Is what I wrote.
Yeah, there were. I felt like this movie.
What
put me into your? I wasn't. What was I shitting in my pants or whatever?
Pants.
Yeah, that's 4.
Shorts were clean.
That's level
pee
4.
down your leg.
Yeah, that's level 3.
Somehow defecation was real a big part of the jump scares.
He's got human centipede on the mind.
Too much.
So my one question for you guys, your horror experts,
Horror.
why do the evil spirits grab people by the hair? Like they clearly could just lift everybody up and throw them everywhere, but why slowly grab
because
the hair?
That's a really cool,
It's a
really
visual.
great way to make a movie better.
Next time I run into one, I'll ask him.
Ask him. Be like, why wouldn't you just pick them up and throw them against the wall?
Why do you think I'm cut clean?
How come Malignant, whatever, Gabriel can plow through a bunch of cops really easily, and then all of a sudden slice someone's stomach and not kill them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's who you want to live.
He becomes. I know she mentioned. Yeah, she mentioned at one point Gabriel makes her stronger. Whatever. She definitely mentioned that, but. Parkour,
backwards parkour,
rock climbing,
backwards.
And everything is backwards.
Your knees are not going to bend the other way.
And
hold on, you try.
Hold on.
She comes out of these trances after she sees whatever Gabriel sees or whatever, and she comes out of these trances and she's back at home after the murders. She's not sore at all, with the knees bending backwards.
She's double jointed. They definitely should have said that.
I liked the
plot holes.
That would have been a nice
it would have bbeen nice just nod.
She's a yogi,
right? Yeah.
Started off with her laying weird. She's double jointed. Would always been that way. That would have been
always
better.
walk backwards and hold her arms out.
Again, it made me laugh a few times the second time, and I think it would have added to the campiness.
I was definitely enjoying the fact that she, to their knowledge, had a home intruder in their house, and then they let her to the hospital. Her sister's like, all right, drops her off. I'm like, I'll see you later. You just go live in that house by herself right now. Totally normal
What
stuff.
terrible cops that wouldn't arrest her right away.
She's
probably a danger.
She's gotta be the prime suspect. I mean, there was nobody else in the house.
I will say,
forced entry.
I thought I liked the what's the connotation or whatever allusion to the fact that the mom was in the attic, i.e., her head. I liked that little connection, and I felt very obvious when she was in the attic. I was like, she's in the attic of the house, no fucking doubt.
Oh, it took me way too long to realize that it wasn't Madison trapped in the attic. I was like, wait. Why is she in the attic? And this is the second time I've watched it. It's like, wait, why is she in the attic? I have so many notes. It's like, where is this lair? Who is this woman? Why is Madison up there? And how is she doing all this other stuff when she's chained up here? I'm and then my last note was like,
I'm an idiot.
Yeah. I was literally typing one. I'm like, where's this? I'm like, the lair's upstairs.
Yep,
it's her. This is obvious.
For me, that was the problem. I just was like, it just felt so dumb, and because
I liked the intro. Felt very Seven.
Yeah,
to me, the movie Seven. It just had all these files and quick shots of whatever going on. I'm sorry, not the cold
credits.
open, but the opening credits.
Yeah.
Credits, and
you
had
could
that
see
music.
Emily's name on some of the credits, and I don't know if I noticed that the first time. And I'm like,
almost so.
They're gonna say her name.
Things together.
Yeah, they're gonna say her name right at the beginning of the movie, and if you read the credits and you saw this, you would know that it's oh no, she's Madison. Never mind.
That was one of the things that I noted though was how different it started out than The Conjuring and in some of the other horror movies we've seen is like it was hard driving rock music, like fast cuts, things like that, where it's like this is completely different energy than like the slow build, the slow.
It's more like the Saw movies. Like it's like that's how Saw is, like a lot of quick cuts and a lot of almost like I like to call it like MTV type movies where it's like
MTV
music
horror.
video, like
Like, if someone hasn't coined that, that's pretty good.
I think
That
they
makes
have.
sense.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
I
okay,
stole
all
it
right,
from
all right.
somewhere, but
That's fine. That's fine.
but yeah, it's like those quick cuts and like the hard rock music and like the weird camera angles and stuff like that. It almost reminds you of like a 9 Inch Nails video from the 90s or something
that's the
like
song
that.
they used in 7. Yeah,
I'll be
for
honest,
sure.
I don't see anything about MTV horror.
No?
No.
it's a new one.
Buy that,
It's
should I
all
buy
you.
that MTVhorror.com.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know about
Put it
buying
right up there with
but,
slickmeats.net that I own.
Slick Meats.
I had some slick meat earlier today.
Oh god.
Did you guys catch the song that they played?
I absolutely did.
I did too.
Yeah,
Don't think so.
Pixies.
The Pixies, Where's My
Oh,
Mind?
where's my mind? Oh,
But it was a very
like a
different-
remix almost.
Yeah.
But it was.
I think
it was
I did.
super subtle in the back there, and I'm like, I love it. They use that song. Speaking of, well, I guess that's not 7, but
Yeah.
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, that song just plays so well in so many, and it's also probably
So many movies about other personalities. in your head.
another clue as to
Right.
that I should have known that Gabriel was in there the whole time. But I mean, it also was just very funny when they finally like it comes out of the brain, like it just opens up. And
Sloth from the Goonies.
It's kind of like Quado. More,
Oh yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
more like Total Recall.
Well, then
and
at the
Quado.
end, it just closes
Closes back
up,
up. Yeah,
and
she
nobody
controls 'em.
says anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's
She
all
put
good.
him in jail,
Yeah.
figuratively.
Scientists should be
Metaphorically.
studying.
Yeah. And it shoots her sister, but not really.
But not really, because that was all
Yeah, in
a
his
fake thing?
head, she
such a
figured out
word.
how to make him see what
Yeah,
she
I-
wanted him to see.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked by that one because I'm like, I don't remember the sister dying. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a good.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I would have preferred it.
I
Yeah,
wrote
kill her.
that down. I was like, oh, they killed the sister, and I was like, delete.
Yeah,
Delete.
They make it. They find a way back.
Yeah.
and she didn't give like I didn't love that she didn't have like complete. I mean, if we're going that campy, might as well just give her complete superhuman powers as well. Like when she says, "Oh, I can move it. If he could move it, I could move it."
Right.
And she like still struggled with it, but he like picked it up and kicked it or whatever.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
He tossed it like it was nothing.
right. So I'm like, you should be able to just pick it up and throw it away. Like you're a superhero now. Like it's Neo in the Matrix.
The other thing I made note of is how many broken arms there were in Malignant. Like everybody in the movie, just like,
Oh, yeah.
their arm was just snapped right here.
super
Somebody
easy,
had
yeah.
two of
That
them.
purse
Like
that literally did break. but-
yeah, right. And there's like so maybe that was on purpose because her arms break. There were a lot of they shot everything with dark shadows, really harsh shadows.
Yeah.
When she was in the scene, like there was one scene in her bedroom with her sister, and like usually you can't see the shadow or it's really soft in the background. It was like another figure like outlined there, and I don't know if that was just the gummy I ate or if it was
I saw a note on that. They specifically, it was almost
Was
like
it?
a tell or an Easter
Okay.
egg if
Yeah.
people were looking, and maybe you would on the next
well on the
a
second
rewatch
viewing,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Cronenberg. I feel like
David?
David Cronenberg. Like he's
Not his
very
son?
known for like the body horror,
Yep.
gory, this kind of
Fly
stuff.
and-
yeah,
yeah.
the Fly, Videodrome, Dead Ringers, that kind of stuff. And I do like those movies. And that's those are from the 80s, and they looked good for the time, and that's why he's known for it because it was practical effects. These are obviously special effects, but I feel like there's a link. There's something I think
Yeah.
James
Well,
Wan
I think,
was trying to go for more of that kind of stuff in this one.
The actual like showing
It
of
looked-
that's
yeah, that
all
was probably-
practical.
that was practical, yeah.
it was makeup and special effects.
It
I mean,
looked good.
but there was definitely CGI when they're chasing through the tunnels
Oh,
in
I
the
mean,
basement
that-
or in the
I
under
did-
Seattle.
Yeah, I did think
Lower
that-
Seattle.
Lower Seattle was a cool little
and
touch.
apparently it's
Yeah.
real.
It
Yeah.
is, but it doesn't look like that.
No.
But yeah,
Just
they
looks like
didn't
a
have
basement.
to have so much like they almost gave too much away with like I was saying, and this is again the second time watching it, but like,
Or
they
the
didn't have
first
to-
for some of us.
They could have done it more quick cuts and
Yeah.
less like camera right on Gabriel or right on her.
Right, or like that shot where they're running through there, like holding it the camera so far back that like they had to make this CGI weird looking thing that ran through, the underground. It looked totally fake. Not that like someone running backwards with their arms behind
Which was
them and
a
stuff
real
looks
person.
real, but it was.
They
yeah.
used like a
In,
contortionist.
some of them, yeah.
Okay.
That's how they had that person actually move. It was a real person moving.
That's kind of wild. Wasn't it Annabelle?
Did you guys ever play Batman Arkham City?
I feel like
you told me to play.
one
it.
of
I feel like I played yours for like 30 minutes.
So there's a part where he goes like old Gotham
Okay.
underneath, and it's underneath the city, and that's all I kept thinking about whenever they were in like the underground, like Seattle. I was like, oh yeah, this is like in Batman.
I was like, shit, man, I should have done this when I was in Seattle.
I kept thinking Lower Wacker or Lower Wacker.
Yeah.
Also, if I was down there
Speaking
and
of
I
Batman.
heard someone, if I had the Lower Seattle and there's tunnels down there and I heard shit, I was like,
I'm out.
bye.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm like, boss, there's something down there. I quit. I'll never be back down there again.
But
Oh, it's my
she didn't.
Hold on, let me
My
turn
son.
the light. Let me look.
my son, my boy's down there.
But wasn't it her mom that worked down there,
Yeah.
and she's kidnapped her and
So
put her
it
up
literally
there and
was
then
her
took
son.
her job.
Yeah.
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 She's just screaming, I
Took her
abandoned
job.
my
What do you mean?
boy.
Well, they said,
She didn't go start giving tours.
yeah, no.
No.
Dude,
But
you
I
really
feel
thought
like you
that-
don't know that Madison and her mom, Madison's mom, are different people.
Yeah, they're
Right.
different people, but they mentioned that a woman that gave tours down there
Yeah, it was her
was
mom.
in the wasn't her mom the one that was chained up in the
Yeah.
after
yeah.
getting
After-
kidnapped from giving tours down
Right.
there.
right.
She was caught in
You
that
definitely
world.
need to watch this.
It wasn't
movie
like
a third
she
time.
then
third time?
continued to give them. The tours didn't continue after that.
We were missing a tour
Wait,
guide.
she's like, you started driving the
Wait,
bus.
that wasn't. Wait.
Making all the stops.
That wasn't Madison down there giving tours.
No,
No. when?
God damn! That's why I thought it was Madison chained up. They look too similar.
Maddie,
They don't
Maddie
even.
and
They
Madison.
do when they were younger.
One was brown
what was
hair,
her mom's name?
older.
Her mom's
Too
name
dark
was
and I was
Serena,
too hot,
right? Serena May.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
her
yeah.
mom. Serena
One was
May,
brown
not
hair-
Emily May.
One was like
Okay.
a 50-year-old brown-haired lady,
Right.
And the other one was like a 25-year-old black-haired girl.
I don't know. It was dark. She kept
was pretty
unplugging
dark.
the lights. Like,
Yeah,
no.
it kind of blows my mind that
Yeah,
you missed us over.
She
twice.
wouldn't just continue to give tours.
strong gummies.
Strong gummies.
Not even the strongest.
You kept driving the bus. People kept ringing the bell.
But was it an enjoyable experience?
Yeah,
All right.
because I was so confused.
I can't kidding my mom. I better go give the tour. She
Yeah,
was
no,
gonna
I-
do today.
I
So she
knew,
just
like-
keeps her job.
I knew the ending. Like,
She didn't know it was
I knew
her
it.
mom.
I knew the twist, but all the stuff in between,
Yeah.
totally
Gabriel
forgot.
knew.
So
Gabriel knew. Yeah,
you
somehow
were-
Gabriel knew.
you were out pretty early on it, like,
It was because it's bad early.
Right.
Yeah,
and then you stuck with it all the way.
Well, he's watched it multiple times.
Yeah,
Like it.
no, the first. I mean, I recommended it because the first time I watched it, I enjoyed it, and it was.
Yeah,
and
I liked
in
it the first time,
2021, so 3 years ago, I don't know, there weren't that many horror movies that I think were very good, and I know there was this whole.
Less than you think.
But I know, like, it was kind of overtaken by this Conjuring universe that I wasn't really that interested in. So I watched this one because it seemed like a whatever. It intrigued me.
Different.
I watched Barbarian as well.
Yeah.
It was after Barbarian that I really liked, which we did last year. That I'm like, all right, if I like that, I'll watch *Malignant* and I'll watch *Smile*, and again, I just enjoyed it. So yeah, the second time I saw the badness of it, but
Yeah.
the twist got me that first time, and I was like,
Oh,
no,
for
this
sure.
this is a unique horror movie.
Tom still's confused.
I'm so confused.
I think I started to like realize it was very campy. It was when the cop started chasing him, and then he jumps off the balcony,
The fire escape.
the fire escape
Yeah.
onto the dumpsters. I'm like, all right, now
Yeah.
we're getting to the ridiculous parts.
Yeah.
Right. It's like she's
Kay?
not waking up with bruises.
The
Like
KO?
she fell onto that dumpster and then onto the street and then ran away. And there's
Yeah.
no bruises
Yeah.
the next day.
Well, she was
Gabriel
doing all
absorbed all
Her
the
mom
bruises.
had bruises though.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Was she chained up in the attic?
Everybody was up in the attic at
Who
some
was
point.
giving the
Saving her
tours?
for last.
Who is giving the tours? That's all I want to know.
So weird that you're so caught up in this. Funny.
This might be a deep pull, so I'm going to ask all of our fans to research this one. But the house, Sydney and Madison's house, where they were watching the videos and stuff, like their adoptive or her adopted
The inside
mother's
or the
house.
outside?
Like the farmhouse.
The
like,
farmhouse.
Yeah.
Is that the same house from Promising Young Woman?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I've seen that movie, but
Yeah.
It's a good movie, but
that's a fucking poll that I'm not getting an answer to.
yeah,
I think it might be. I think that's her house. That's the main character's house in that movie.
it's an old Universal set.
Yeah.
Or what did you call it? Was production company?
Atomic Monster.
It's Atomic Monster set, like the Psycho House that's
Yeah.
still on set somewhere in one of those tours.
Yeah, like the Universal backlot
Universal
or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
But could be.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, I wrote this note down too, but like trying to figure out, like, again, I think I might have mentioned this in the beginning, but trying to figure out the connection between Gabriel and Madison or Emily kind of took you out of the horror aspect, or at least it took me out of it, because I was more like, all right, now my brain's not even thinking about like the scary parts of it. It's like, all right, how are these two related? How are they connected? So then it became more of like a mystery.
Right.
Yeah,
like
mystery,
a
which
detective
which is
drama.
why
Yeah.
I think I like
kind
it.
of like Longlegs, like last week or whatever. It was,
Yeah, I don't
well,
know.
just in the fact that it's
I
like
don't know.
but that one was
it's like 7,
yeah,
right?
with
Like
Longlegs,
it's got
you had
like
the twist.
Longlegs is way better than this movie.
Really?
Yeah, for
The
different,
Malignant?
no way.
I think so.
I'd rather
they're
watch
different
Malignant.
movies for sure. Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt they're different, but they've got different names and everything. I think Longlegs
styles.
is
Yeah.
definitely a better watch than Malignant.
Yeah, that's probably the right call, but this one's
I don't
fun.
know.
I had fun.
I had
keep
a lot
saying
of fun
that, I
on the
think.
second viewing, as confused as I was in the middle. But yeah, like you said, like the police station scene where she just wrecks all those women in there. Like, first of all, there were like 2 women that were ganging up on her. The rest, like the one was just taking a leak. The other women were
Gabriel
just
don't
over
give
there
a
just
fuck.
hanging
He's
out.
killing everybody.
And she just kills all of them.
Right. And then
And
kills the
then-
cop,
yeah.
and then goes out and kills everybody
All
in
of
the
them.
police
with a
station.
knife, like with all these cops with guns. They
No,
can't
it wasn't
take her
even a
out.
knife. It was an award for like,
Right, but it was sharpened down
yeah,
like
it was
a
sharpened
shank.
down. But also, like, at the end of it, everybody's just like, oh, cool, Gabriel's gone. You can go live a normal life. Like, no,
Right.
you just murdered like 40 people.
Exactly.
Like,
We said that we were watching, Jen and I were watching the same thing. We're like, so she's not going to get away with
Yeah.
this, right? Like, it's still you killing them.
It
Right.
wasn't though.
just go back and live in this house
Yeah.
that, has your lair
I
upstairs.
don't know what the legal ramifications are, but
So, question. I went for all 4 of the movies we watched last week in this. What do you think has the highest tomato meter score?
Conjuring.
Oh, you guys are all in agreement.
Yeah.
It's between
not-
Conjuring and Longlegs, but I think it's Conjuring. No?
Oh, is it follow?
That's actually barely second. It follows 95%.
Wow, that's really.
I would.
high.
Wow.
I think that's the
That's-
best one
That's
we've
definitely
watched.
my favorite. of the ones
86%
before.
Conjuring, 85 Longlegs, heyo, and 77 Malignant, which is too high. So what about
Just too high.
What's the.
what about popcorn meter?
Yeah.
77 is about right for me. I looked this up already with Malignant. I think it's lower. It's like 50.
Yeah.
So what do you, the Conjuring
55 or
is 83% popcorn meter. That's by far the best of those.
It
It follows at 66.
Oh, yeah. I was,
Longlegs 60.
I was
and
going by popcorn.
52 Malignant.
Oh,
Malignant's
so
the
the
worst.
I would.
Total
By the
agreement.
popcorn meter. But the critics know better.
No, I never.
No, it was-
never go by the critics.
It
Always
was-
go by
I'm
the
kidding.
It's
popcorn.
the worst by both. It's literally the worst.
But it's a 77. That's about right.
66 for popcorn on It Follows.
Yeah, it follows is drastic. The difference between tomato and,
Yeah,
and,
that's wild.
popcorn.
Well, and
But still the highest. I think you just,
I
or
think
sorry,
it's the same with
Conjuring.
like Hereditary or The Witch. Like the critics love these types
Yeah.
of movies because there's more dramatization to them.
Yep.
There's better acting and like
It's
that
better
kind of
direction, better story,
Right,
better
yeah,
acting.
better
Just better.
cinematography. Right. It's not your typical just like, oh, let's go have a high body count,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
I
the
mean-
critics really like them, but the audience doesn't like them as much. Although, I mean, I will say that the younger generation in Martin tend to like these other
And
newer
Martin.
ones. Yeah, not me. But yeah, so out of all 4 of the ones we've watched so far, what was your favorite, Jeremy?
come back to me.
Okay, Martin.
Yeah, it follows.
It follows.
I
But
agree.
It follows and Malignant are
Yeah.
the only two that I would like even
See,
like,
I would
tell
say The
people to
Conjuring.
watch.
Oh,
Like,
I
The
see.
Conjuring-
Conjuring for me is, I think, number one.
Yeah, I just like that. In this is weird because I don't
you'd say
like
Long
the
Legs.
slow burn of like Hereditary
That's
and
second.
stuff, but The Conjuring, just the way the suspense builds in some of the scenes, and like
Yeah, I don't even want to watch it
Like-
again. But like,
Yeah, and I get
I don't want to watch any of them again. But the The Conjuring, Long Legs, It Follows, and then the distant bottom is Malignant.
I'd probably put Malignant over Long Legs. I go Conjuring, Malignant, It Follows, and Long Legs. I think.
It follows The Conjuring, Malignant, Long Legs.
Man,
Okay.
Okay. Well, next week we're going to be getting into the. Hopefully, someone will shit themselves.
I'll let you know.
What did you call it?
I mean,
What's the meter again?
please admit it if you do.
Jump Scare 5.
Jump scare. Yeah.
Jump Scare 4.
Five.
Sorry,
We're-
Jump Scare 4 is shitting yourself.
Okay, but what's the
Somehow
worst?
fifth-
5 is the worst level, though, right?
5 is we won't hear from you because you'll be
That's
catatonic.
it. Yeah.
So these, I mean, they're supposed to be like the based on like science heart rate meter as the
thing.
the best scariest
Do we all
ones.
have the smartwatch? Can
I
we
don't.
monitor our?
I don't. Maybe
But
I
we
could
probably
put
should.
Laura
Mary's.
Mary's?
I could put
Yeah.
Mary's on.
And we'll see how we do.
Yeah.
As always, the devil exists. God exists. And for us, as people, our very destiny hinges upon which one we elect to follow. And we hope you follow our Film Fathers podcast, wherever you listen. Thanks, and save it for the pod.